Sup, Nerdmigos, and the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove, and this is Project Jive, probably? I don't entirely have a name on exactly what I'm doing here, mostly because I already have a card that says Project Jive, so that's probably what I'm going to use. But yeah, okay, so today I wanted to talk to you about miniatures. So I, low-key love miniatures. I love fairy gardens, I love model making and Gundam making and Warhammer 40k and all that stuff, right? So over the last year, I've kind of gone on this adventure to do miniature making. I started off by making miniature books, which I'm going to grab one down here. See, little. This is probably entirely does not want to focus on the book, but little teeny tiny books in 1/12 scale, right? And so I decided to make little books with little pages that you can flip through and all this sort of stuff, right? And I started this adventure by first designing the books in Photoshop and then building a bookshelf. Each one of these books can come out of this shelf. I am not going to do that because then I have to put them all back in. But, and I'm using little pieces of floss so that way they stick out and all that sort of stuff. So I started doing that, making mini book covers. And then I was like, okay, but they got to have pages in them. So I want mini pages for my books. And these are little pages with words on them and such, right? That are currently being held together with a rubber band because I need to fill more covers with it. So I decided to make that, right? And get into making that because I really love the tiny forest bookshelf thing. So I decided to do that, right? And then as soon as I got done with that, I was like, okay, what next can I do, right? And so I made a couple of different versions of pages, or a couple of different versions of covers, and a couple of different versions of pages, and I made that bookshelf. And then I was like, okay, what can I do next? What's a great idea? At the same time, while I was doing this, because I wanted to okay, so when I first looked into it, I was like, okay, I can go online and buy covers, printable covers from somebody online, right? And then I was like, well, I can just do that. I can just make my own printable covers, which I was able to do and then list as printables online. So the printable covers that I've designed and the pages that I've used to fill them with words are available online on our Etsy shop, which the links are in the thing below. That's not what this is about right now. I even made little colored inset page for the front of these and stuff like that. And some of the books are just filled with cardboard or a bit of wood, a little thin sheet of wood or styrene. So it's got the right shape, and some of them are filled with pages and that you can close and flip through. A lot of the ones that are held open, like this one here, what I did was I expressly glued the pages open into the open position for that, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Listed those, right? Made those available online because if I enjoy doing it, maybe somebody else does. And then I was like, okay, what can I build next? So then I was like, all right, I want to build a tiny table. So I built this teeny tiny table out of just some deadfall redwood branches and a couple of nails. Real quick, little simple table. It is gently off balance, so it's fine. It stays up, but it's easy to fall down, right? And then I was like, all right, well, why don't I make a Ouija board? So this is just printed on cardstock. So I made a little magical set, which is a Ouija board and a little box of tarot cards, right? That in the printable, it comes with not only the teeny, oops, it just dropped 3 of those on the ground. Ugh, these are hard to find. Teeny tiny tarot cards, red or white tarot cards, but also the instructions for how to print, cut, and glue together the box to wrap these tarot cards, as well as a planchette for the Ouija board. And I even took one of the boards and glued it to an old piece of wood to make a nice wooden Ouija board. And I also made this running desk, right? So it's a long desk made out of a rough cut piece of wood, and then nailed and glued together, which was it's super not perfect, but it was my first foray into I'm gonna remember to pick those up. First foray into furniture and stuff like that, right? So recently I was like, okay, you know, I've made those, whatever. What is like another cool thing that I would love to have for like, if like setting up these tiny fairy gardens, right? Because in my mind, I want to like have a bunch of little teeny tiny fairy gardens all over the place, right? So I was like, you know what would be cool is like a map room. You know how like whenever you go into like one of them fancy libraries, there's always like a desk with maps and stuff. And so that brings me to this week's project, which is Map Room, which is Maps project. So join me as we're just gonna quick preview. Look at that. Okay, stop looking at that. Join me as we build a map desk for our teeny tiny maps, and then I'll catch up with you in just a little bit. Okay, so this is not necessarily going 100% according to plan, but it's kind of 100% going according to plan. So the maps that you see me cutting out and using are available on our Etsy shop. So you can print that out and cut those out and then like either roll them up, which I did for some maps, or glue them down onto boards to act as like drawers or like map panels or anything like that. The desk is, as you've seen, popsicle sticks and various tapes and glues and such like that. I kind of went into this with a little bit of a plan about a map desk, but like not as much of a plan as I would have liked, primarily because if I'm gonna be perfectly real with you, it took me almost an hour just to find the popsicle sticks because I had moved them and then I forgot that I moved them. Yay me. But yeah, so I didn't like I had concepts of a plan for this map desk, but not like a full plan, and I kind of just solved as I went along. It took me about a day, about 4 hours of work to build this teeny tiny desk. and get everything ready. So why don't we finish up with the build, and then I will catch you guys right before glamour shots. Okay, so we're done. Here is the desk, right? And it's probably blown out on that camera. Not easy to see glory with its various maps and map stands, its various extractable drawers, right? And so just a few things that I didn't have the opportunity to catch on camera because I kind of solved them after the fact. So the drawers themselves are made out of the same, it's like MDF or maybe high density fiberboard that I had. I just have like a bunch of sheets of it. I don't even remember what I saved it from. That I just cut out and sanded for those to glue these down to. And I just like glue stick them down, right? I didn't even Mod Podge over the top because I didn't want to add thickness. But the handles for the drawers are beads that I used UV resin to glue down, primarily because I kept trying to use like cyanoacrylate, super glue or something like that, and I even did an experiment off camera trying to drive a very, very teeny tiny pin through the side of this by like pre-drilling it with the tiny drills that I have, and with that like little pin drill that I have, and it didn't work. So UV resin made that super easy. Some of the extra maps I just folded up, like car map style, and wrapped with a little piece of floss or whatever. So all the maps that I cut out were used. I do still have some that I printed but didn't cut out. All the drawers slide in and out, although this one drawer here is like a little... This is the like super sticky drawer that I currently have Africa up in. But yeah, so these maps I got, so these maps have been like cut out, edited. I had to edit all of the maps before making them in order to get them to work. A lot of them were not like perfectly square, and there was like color issues and all sort of stuff. So after editing the maps up on in Photoshop to get them like printable ready, they're now like they all print to the same size. So except for the world map, which is set to a larger scale, so it's like a big map. All the other maps are set to scale, but I scaled them in 1/12 to be like those like big, impressive, like stately maps. And then obviously because the printable is you can print at like 100% or 50% or 75% or whatever, you can scale the maps into whichever whatever scale you want for your particularly sized maps, so for that kind of thing. So but these were the map size that I wanted to do, and then the other thing that I did off camera that I didn't have a chance to film at all was I had a bunch of extra maps that I rolled up. So this is like a really great way to take advantage of like printing extra maps, because like once you have the printable, right, you just print as many as you want. Is you roll it up like around, I use like a little hair stick. I roll it around in a little teeny tiny hair stick, and then you just unroll it a little bit and put some glue stick on it, then roll it right back up, and you get these little rolled maps that hold themselves closed, right? This one I was able to tie off and then put like a drop of glue in the tie, and I like burned the edges and stuff. But as you can see, the roll is not as tight a roll as the other maps. And they're just rolled up maps. You're never going to have to unroll them because I have the same maps unrolled, printed on the boards. And so I needed a place to put them, and I was going to make a box, but then got lazy and decided instead to make this like silly little old school tool chest, and then just torched the outside of it to give it like a bit of color. And then threw some floss, some embroidery floss around the outside to give it the capacity to hold the maps up. So you're gonna see all of this stuff in much finer detail, and you don't have to listen to my voice or look at my stupid face anymore in the glamour shots. So let's cut to the glamour shots. Thank you for watching this little short crafting YouTube video. If you want a copy of these maps, they're available on our Etsy shop, links below. As well as the other miniature printables that I've designed. And if there's like a mini or something that you're particularly interested in and have not been able to find, comment below, let me know, and I can always design something up and see what I can do for there. And yeah, this is just kind of, projects are just going to sort of be a thing that happens occasionally. I have like a bunch of models I'm working on. I have a bunch of Warhammer stuff I'm working on. Yeah, I have a lot of projects. So stay tuned for more of that. I'm John Norgrove. This is Nerd Jive, and I will catch you next time. Let's get to those glamour shots, guys.